Hi, I'm Dr. Pat Bona, and I'm here to talk about conditions that people have and horses also have. And one chronic, painful condition of humans' feet is plantar fasciitis. I've been working with the horse's hind legs and their postural tendency for years. I finally put a name to it of being plantar fasciitis because it's very, very similar. Now we'll see with horses, it's a little difficult at this angle, but he's standing underneath himself. So that chronic posture of standing underneath can go ahead and cause tightening through the hamstring, through the gastrocs, through the Achilles, through the flexor tendon, the deep flexor tendon. When they're walking, they don't actually take a full stride out. They'll actually walk like a person does when you have plantar fasciitis. A lot of people have. I had it years ago. And you get out of bed and you're walking like this. You've got your feet out in front of you, so you're not stretching those posterior elements of the Achilles, the gastrocs, and the plantar fascia itself. Now with the horse, of course, we're going to be concerned about the gaskin area. Gaskin should be nicely developed and well defined. If not, then we know they're not actually able to flex the hop in the cycle as well. That's one thing to look at as well. Looking at their posture, are they standing with the cannon bone on the vertical, or are they standing in front of that vertical line? That's one reason you want to go and check that the flexor tendon. So we're going to evaluate the deep digital flexor, the suspensory ligament, and the superficial flexor tendon. So they need to work in unison, kind of like pistons. Right? That's how all our muscles should be gliding. Well, they most definitely need to be able to glide next to each other. The deeper structures are going to be tighter as we go out. The deep flexor tendon's not as tight. There's not as much tension on it as the suspensory ligament. And then the superficial flexor tendon, there's not as much tension. You want to go ahead and be able to, say, is he well defined in his tendons and ligaments? He's got a little bit of hair to him. He's a little older. He's not as well defined. But you want to be able to push. I'm pushing on the superficial, gliding over the deep flexor tendon. I'm pushing into the suspensory ligament. They need to be able to move, especially from the outside in. It's almost like pulling on the strings of a stringed instrument. I want to say on a bass, but that's not correct. But so I want to be able to mobilize those and bend those and come up high, so we're at the high portion of the suspensory, and make sure that that can glide. I'll use a tool like this and actually let him relax his leg down. Good boy. And just kind of press across that. Mostly medial to lateral, but you want to check lateral to medial as well. And I can actually glide that down. And that's what you want to see, that that horse then is happy to go ahead and relax his toe. If he can't do that, there's still adhesions, restrictions in this apparatus, or you might have to go up higher and then do some releases up into the gastrocnemius, into the flexor tendons, and then actually even into the extensor muscles, the groups, because they need to be able to glide. So if you think you've got the release here, but you still can't get the horse to relax the hind leg, then you're going to have to go up into the muscles of the gaskin and around the Achilles. I like to see a nice definition here. I like to be able to feel that. I can go ahead and pretty much palpate around that flexor tendon of the gastrocnemius, which is really, really nice. I can come in, use a little pressure, get even more release through here if I felt that that was necessary. Go across those fibers, but then you also need to make sure that you can separate so that those muscle bellies can go ahead and glide nicely At the same time, part of the intent is to make sure that we're allowing that nice open space between these soft tissues. As he's licking and chewing, he actually liked that very much. Because we're also affecting the tendon sheaths. Once we get these things fixed, as long as we don't have a postural issue due to showing imbalance or saddle fit or some pre-exposed condition, we can go ahead and make these changes very quickly in horses. Unfortunately, it's more of a chronic problem in people. So there you go with plantar fasciitis.